my dear young friends, we have come again to have that poem again. After getting that revision, we shall see what we can learn from the poem. Okay? Here, before going into details of the lessons to be learnt from this poem, we can have a quick relook at what we have already seen. So, here we discussed the whole poem, My Only Cry. We have done it in part 1 and part 2. The following points were arrived at in our previous lesson. What are they? Number 1. Children called upon the adults to join them in the protest against arms. So, it is an appeal. It is a talk with the adults to cooperate with them. That is what the children say. To stop what? The producing of arms and the using of arms. Request the arm makers to stop producing the weapons. And directly we have seen the child speaking to the ammunition and weapons manufacturing people, and that appeal turns into a talk, a straight talk. Number 3, we have seen children were focused on affection and love. They are not interested in the production of warfare weapons, dangerous weapons, and they are not bothered. They are very much worried about what? Only 2, affection and love. And here, what are the lessons that we can learn from the poem, or that we have learned from the poem? Roughly you can say what? Number 1, the world is destroying itself by making more and more dangerous weapons. You are already aware that more and more dangerous weapons are being produced, are being manufactured. And how they are manufactured? By the intelligent what? Thinking of a great scientific mind. And here we are, all the people are what? Power hungry. These politicians, the rulers, they are power hungry and they want to extend their empire. Extension. They want expansion. They are willing to have the expansion of their territory. In this way, we have seen all the civilizations, all the dynasties, how they have ruined. The adults disregard the responsibility to save the world and keep it secure for future. The adults also, they are the part of the society. And the part of adults, are engaged in finding the formulas, scientific formulas, and another section of adults, are there to produce, to manufacture. So he says, the whole world can be saved only the adults disregard all these things or reject all these things. Unless they cooperate with their head, heart and action, we can save the world. The frequent appeals of peace-loving people to stop the race for destructive nuclear power have fallen on deaf ears. Many people, many intellectuals, many thinkers, many people who are interested in the upliftment of the society, the people who are bothered about the qualities, positive qualities to be developed. So all these good lot of people, they are appealing, they are frequently just praying, and those appeals, have fallen to deaf ears. Nobody bothers about it because they are the part of it. We are responsible for the creation and destruction. When we just give the idea to manufacture the technology, the advancement of science, we are going to have that for peaceful purposes. But who? But who uses for peaceful purposes? So they are power hungry and expansion hungry people. Politicians, rulers cannot, and they cannot listen, even though they know that they are going to destroy not only the people, not only the nations, not only the countries, not only all the people, but themselves. They have forgotten. They are very busy in getting the ideas and giving those ideas the shapes in the form of arms and ammunition. And here, now we have to seriously think. All the talks, are not going to help. Some actions have to be taken. And all the politicians have come to the table. All the thinkers have to come to table. That is why, in the course of the poem, the child says, we are not bothered about left thinkers or left strategy, left politics, left thinkers and right thinkers, left wing or right wing. They are not, they want their wings to be free, to fly in the place, in the atmosphere which is free from the dust of the weapons, the dust of destruction that is created by the warfare, ammunitions and weapons. So, what is to be there? Now it is a high time, and Ehi samaya hai, Ehi samaya hai, that is what? This is the time. Time has come for us to rethink what? To stop believing that the possession of destructive weapons makes us safe. No, if at all the adults have this idea in their mind, it is absolutely absurd. It is not possible. Whenever we have got bad power or bad weapons with us, we can't keep quiet. We feel like extending our empire. That is a human greed. Because of that greed, we have come to this stage. And here, weapons are going to kill. Anyway, weapons are weapons. We say that we are not going to use for harmful purposes. We use only for peaceful purposes. But they are not able to understand what is good and what is bad when they have all those weapons with them. And here, weapons have the potential to destroy everyone, including those who make them. And weapon manufacturers, they can't say, hello weapons, we have created you, don't touch us, don't destroy us. Are they going to do that? No. Once it is bombed, once it is used, it just destroys everything, including the makers. So, we have to think twice. This is the proper time. That is what the child says. You see the tone of the child. He is much concerned about the world, about the welfare of the children, of the welfare of the coming generation. That is why he appeals first. then he talks. That is why he addresses hello, 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 like that, only to attract their attention and make their point enter their serious heads. Now you see the things, and whenever we have got a gun or a pistol and we are what? Simply we love to just that button. So like that, we can't keep it for peaceful purposes. We are bound to use them what? Horribly. In a horrible way we use them. So here you can see, and in the international peace day so what is that purpose? That is the purpose, if at all we want to observe International Peace Day, we must stop the manufacturing of arms and ammunition. That is what we find in the poems, in the child's cry, my last cry. So this is the ultimate one. So he appeals to all those adults manufacturing weapons and using those warfares. Now, energy should be harnessed for peaceful purposes to promote human welfare. All the manufacturers say that we are not going to use them for destructive purposes to kill, but they are used only for that. But here, that energy which is used to produce the weapons or to think upon those formulas, whatever the energy we have put in, should be diverted towards the purposes of promoting human welfare. So we have to be very serious and careful. And you see, now the problem comes, how to promote human welfare. Child talks about the human welfare. So all these things, in the course of the poem, he has appealed, he has talked, and he just gives those instructions in the form of orders. Yes, after all, how we are going to have to struggle to promote the human welfare? A question arises in our mind after studying the poem, after reading the poem, between the lines, between the thoughts, between the music and between the words and between that emotions of the child. So what is the first one? So here what is that? Lhasa. What is Lhasa? Love all and serve all. Though it is a bit difficult because it is not as easy as it is said, but if we struggle, if we try to love all and serve all, how nice the world would be. There is no anger, there is no anguish, there is no disappointment, there is no up, there is no down, there is no feeling of inferiority, there is no feeling of superiority. How nice, love all. Come on, let us embrace. So, and when you love, naturally, you are happy to serve also. Love leads to serve. It's a wonderful thing, but only thing, we have to imbibe that in our head, heart and hand. Then only we can serve. So if we develop that love, means we have to just, you have to keep this land ready for that germination of that seed of love. Then treat all equally. And usually what happens, treatment will be everywhere. This is also very difficult to follow, but it is possible. It is not impossible, but with some difficulty you can. If for example treat all equally, how can we treat? A question arises. But if we develop that positive thinking of the mind, so we can treat everyone equally. That is possible, and we have to make sincere efforts for that. It needs efforts. Then respect all beings. All beings means everything that is created by nature. Trees, plants, animals, human beings. These are all His beings. His beings. So we must respect everything. For example, if we respect the nature, nature what? Protects us. If we are going to cut off all the trees to pave way for the what? Advancement, then we are losing nature's blessings. No trees are there, no atmosphere is there to catch, to attract the clouds. And so, but here he is talking about the human mind. When the human mind is tuned properly, so you can do that by respecting all beings. Then willing to make sacrifices for others. This is also wonderful formula. But again it is very difficult because man is selfish basically. And we have to try to come up from that selfish level. We have to make efforts for that. We must have that craze for what? To come up, to come out of that selfishness. So, and for that, we have to make sacrifices. Without sacrificing, you can't what? Achieve this. If we are willing to sacrifice, if we say okay, have it, then the pleasure is different. That kind of attitude must be developed, and our mind should be nurtured. And then being selfless, again the same thought, we will be selfless. If we become selfish, we will be greedy, we will be needy, and we will be having that destructive tendency. So what you should have? You are selfless. You must be selfless. Means what? So don't bother about why. When so many people are what? They are hungry. Why should I eat? Me only eat to eat. Why should I waste the things? In that way, that comes. One must be selfless. When a man becomes selfless, he will be more divine. So we have to act in that direction. Next, thinking more of others rather than myself. What we are doing? Always my, me, mine. So we have to come out of this mine, of this I, me and mine. And how nice, how blessed the life would be. So when doing so, we have to think more of others, their welfare. The life would be really what? Enjoyable. Here, if you follow all these things, so we can promote the human welfare. And next, there is a small discussion on that. It is a brainstorming or brain tinging what? A discussion here. Now, here is a what? A quotation is there. Let me read that quotation and we can think over the quotation. Here the quotation, here I shall read it. Having mind that is open to everything. That is one. We must have a mind for everything, open for everything. Number two, and attached to nothing. And that mind should not be attached to anything. So it should be, nothing is to be attached. So attached to nothing. Seems this idea. What idea? Well, the first idea, which is open to everything, the mind that is open to everything, and the mind that is attached to nothing. These two, this seems to me to be one of the most basic principles. These are the two. Though it is in the two, it has to be in the form, in the unique one form, and these basic principles that you can adopt to contribute to individual and world peace. If we are going to use those principles, it is possible for uplifting, for contributing to the individual, not only to the individual peace, but also the world peace. This has to be. This is about the quotation. We have given the quotation, and these are the two things that are essential. One is the mind that is open to everything, and the mind that attached to nothing. These two, and they are going to be the basic principles to contribute for individual and world peace. Now we have got this. Please ponder over on these questions. What are your thoughts on the given quotation? Hello my young friends. So this is the quotation, a saying of a great man. So what are your thoughts? What is your view? So you please think. It is purely individual. Number two, to what extent do you agree with it? Do you agree or disagree? If you agree, what is the percentage? If you disagree, what is the percentage? Do you feel that it is possible? So, please think. What is that? Mind that is open to everything and mind that is attached to nothing. You see, antithesis of this. To what extent do you agree with it? If possible, to what extent? In terms of percentage. And next question, how possible is it to acquire such a mind? One more. Yes, quotation is okay. Very fine words. A mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. Good. Yes. But how to acquire? How to own? How to develop that kind of thinking? How to discipline the mind? How to train the mind? So here, now the question is, how possible is it? How humanly possible is it to acquire such a mind? A mind, you see, which is open to everything and attached to nothing. It is the greatest philosophy is involved. The greatest effort is involved. Now, my question to you, what is that? How possible is it? What are your ideas? How are you going to develop that mind which is open to everything, and that mind which is attached to nothing. So there is something for you to think upon it seriously. And anyway, the whole poem, my last cry, my only cry, is your own representative. You can understand better. In the light of those things, you think over that and contribute your ideas and thoughts. Now we have come to the conclusion of the whole poem. So you have understood the cry. You have understood the reason for that cry, for that appeal and talk. So you please read that poem again. Think over all those points again, and when you think, you can ink better and impress better. Okay? Good luck. Thank you.